Attacking football.
Attacking football.
Attacking football.
Attacking football.
Attacking football.
Hello and welcome back to the Attacking Football podcast. I am your host, LA Matthews. Joining me this week, we have the slightly depressed Scott after the weekend. Scott, how you doing, man?
Doing good, yeah, doing good. Wish the result was better, but...
I don't. We also have my favourite person that is next in line for the Russian presidency, Josh. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm just working on my political spiel as we speak. So first task is to brush up on my Russian, but
I would add some context to that, but I'm not going to because it's funnier. And as always, joining us in the studio, we have producer Alfie. Alfie, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Mate, it's been a weekend. It's been a weekend. We've had some interesting results. We've had some shouts for goal of the season this weekend, and it kind of got us to thinking, who has world-class players at their club? So we thought we'd have a go at deciding which of the top 6 clubs have world-class players and who they are. So we've all done our picks. We've sent them off to our graphics department. You should be able to see them on the screen very, very shortly when we decide to talk about them. But I want to do it club by club. How do you feel about that, boys?
Yep.
yeah, it works for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to start with Arsenal, right? I don't think, despite coming second last year and being top of the league this year, I don't think they have too many world-class players. And there's been a lot of speculation in the media about Bukayo Saka and a very famous ex-Manchester United player who said he wasn't world-class. I'm going to let you boys have your chance, but let's start with Scott. Scott, Arsenal, who are their world-class players?
So for me, I think they only have 2. I've put Saliba, and I've also put Declan Rice.
Scott, this is going to be a very boring podcast if you just pick the same players I do the entire time.
I've gone for one more.
And you said they didn't have many.
You've got 3.
I've got 3.
Wow.
I've got 3, and it's not Saka. It's Saliba. Here's my justification, right?
So?
That's Gabriel and Saliba and Rice.
Oh.
Right. Here's how I've quantified world class. Right. I think to be described as world class, you have to be the top 3 in your position in the world. Right. So you've got left centre back, right centre back, and CDM. That for me, that's Arsenal's world class players. I think there are definitely more than 3 right wingers in the world better than Saka at the moment. Mm-hmm. There is probably an argument for Ødegaard. I think there's probably 3 attacking midfielders better than Ødegaard in the world. I think, yeah, Gabriel, Saliba, Rice. I think Rice is probably the standout CDM in world football at the moment.
Yeah.
Can we dig into Gabriel a second?
Yes,
Yeah.
please, can we?
Yeah.
Because Saliba was the one on Scott's list and mine.
Yeah.
And Gabriel was the extra one you brought to the table.
Yep.
I
don't know.
I think he's got a mistake in him. I don't think he's world class. I think he's made better by Saliba, or he's made to look better by Saliba.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
You're entitled to your opinion, but you don't get to. You don't get to be a part of one of the best defensive partnerships in world football by being a bad player. And I think that there are a number of Arsenal centre-back options that could play there that don't.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I agree with what you're saying. Like, you don't get to be a part of one of the best centre-back pairings without being a bad player. That is 100% a true statement. But we're talking world class.
Yeah.
And Gabriel was in the Arsenal team last season when they crumbled when Saliba got injured. I'm not saying that's the only reason Saliba's world class, but he brings an air of calmness, and I think Gabriel is a bit
attacking football world exclusive. Arsenal lost the league because of Gabriel.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
I think they lost
Alfie,
because
clip
they
it.
missed Saliba.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is an argument, but I genuinely think Gabriel is world class. I think I'm a Man United fan. I would take him at United tomorrow, and I'd start him as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, as would I. Again, rather unfortunately, as a Man United fan, I don't think we're in the position of that being much of a statement.
I don't think you have to be world class anymore to get into this United side.
I don't think you have to be class anymore to get into this United side. But that's not the topic at hand. Scott, you've got a fairly settled centre-back partnership at Liverpool. Admittedly, you've got some injuries at the moment. Would you take Gabriel at Liverpool?
Honestly, no, I wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think Kanate is a better centre-back when he's fit. I don't think Kanate's world class though, and I don't think Gabriel is either.
But he's never fit.
No, but he's played a fair few games this season, and I think we could play any centre-back besides Van Dijk, and they'd look well. They'd do well, and I think that's just what Saliba does for Arsenal, and that's why Gabriel looks better because he plays next to Saliba.
So where is the argument for Saka then? Because none of us have gone for Saka as world class. Are we all saying Rio Ferdinand is right?
I didn't pick Saka because I can't remember a moment in a big game where Saka came true for Arsenal. Yeah. And it's the same for Odegaard as well.
Stat padding.
Yeah. I could not tell you a single moment in a big game where Saka pulled Arsenal through, or even Odegaard.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. He hasn't had that career-defining game yet, where he takes a game by the scruff of the neck. You could argue that Mainoo's done that already.
Well, it's funny. I didn't want to bring it back to United because that can happen quite a few times. But almost this season specifically, almost on its head, Rashford is someone who quite often in the big games will step up and do something. He'll score a goal. He'll get an assist. Whereas Saka is, dare I use the term, steady Eddie.
Yeah.
You know, he will give you a 7, 8 out of 10 performance most games, but in the big games, it just seems like it's easy to mark him out of the game.
Here's an interesting one. Is he Gabriel Jesus when Gabriel Jesus was at Man City? He's surrounded by very, very good players and is able to thrive in that system, but isn't necessarily going to go and set the world alight.
No, I think Saka is close to world class. He just needs to perform in the big games.
Will he become world class?
Yeah, I think he can. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I think he will become world class. I don't think it's can he. I think he will. But I'm the same as Scott. He hasn't done it in the big games for me. And I think to be world class, you need to be the player that takes your team into them big games, and more importantly, wins you them big games. And for me, he hasn't done that.
Okay. Well, talking about big games, there was one at the weekend, and we're going to talk about one of those sides now. We're going to get Manchester United out of the way very, very early because I don't think there's a lot to talk about there. I'm going to start with me. I've picked one Manchester United player. One. And again, I've gone off the basis of you have to be top 3 in your position in the world, and you're all going to disagree with me, but I've gone for Onana.
Oh, well, I wouldn't say all of you, because I've gone for 2 players, and mine are Andre Onana and Bruno Fernandes. And I might have my Man United hat on, but I would say Onana is world class.
Onana, I think, is world class. He had a bit of a difficult Champions League run earlier in the season, but outside of that, there isn't a goalkeeper in world football that has faced more shots this season than Andre Onana, and his goals prevented statistic is absolutely unreal.
You know what? When you said it jarred a little bit with me, but I must say, like recently, I've been really impressed with his performance, and again, he seems to be pretty settled now, which is even more of a statement when you consider how unsettled the back 4 have been in front of him.
Yeah. Well, I think the Attacking Football Twitter tweeted out that United have had 30-something different centre-back partnerships.
I think it was 26, weren't it?
26 different centre-back partnerships this year.
That's crazy. It's mental.
That's madness, isn't it? And so, like, and look, it's always difficult to go into a new club and settle in, especially as a goalkeeper. Look at what happened with David De Gea when he came in. That spanned over a couple of seasons, I think, to my memory.
He was quite young though, De Gea.
He was
when he came in.
He was, yeah. But yeah, I think the statement rings true for Onana. I think he seems to, he's someone who's got a lot of confidence about him. He seems to have settled into Manchester life, and yeah, look, it's not horrendous. I don't massively disagree. He's not in my pick, but I can see why you went for him.
I just don't think any top teams in the world take Onana in their team right now. And I don't think you can be classified as world class in that instance.
Arsenal would take him.
That's what I was going to say. I think Arsenal would.
Yeah, maybe that might be the only team.
Spurs would take him.
I don't know. I think Spurs fans were more than happy with Vicario.
I think they take Onana.
I don't think
Okay, so if I put a few other teams at you, would Bayern Munich take him?
Yes.
No, I think they'd stick with Neuer.
I think Bayern would definitely take him.
Neuer's going to retire at the end of next season. Yeah. No, they take Onana.
I don't think they'd take him.
They would take Onana in a heartbeat.
Would Real Madrid take him?
No.
Yes.
Not with Thibaut.
Oh, but they've got Courtois. I know Courtois had injuries, but he is a monster when he's fit.
Courtois hasn't had injuries. Courtois is an injury. He is an injury. Okay, who? Let's take my pick aside then, because none of you agree with me apart from Alfie, and that's fine. Who have you guys gone for as your Man United picks for world class?
Do you want to I went.
Oh yeah, go on. Look, I went for the only person I think you can really choose with all certainty, because again, I will just say as a side note, I don't massively disagree with Onana, but I didn't pick him. Bruno Fernandes. He just is someone who gets in pretty much any team, and rival fans will complain about him, but quite often, and I will die on this hill, 9 times out of 10, their complaints about Bruno Fernandes are not about his footballing ability.
Yeah.
It's about him and his demeanour, his attitude, his arms everywhere. Yeah, he tries the odd pass, which you think that was never really on. Yeah, but when you make that money, you're allowed to try 1 or 2 a minute. So look, there's no denying his stats. What is it? Is he 50 goals now? Is
50
that right?
Premier League goals.
50
Premier League goals now since coming in. Like that is madness. Like he creates an amazing amount of chances. If he had strikers who could put the ball in the back of the net, his assists and goal involvement stats, which is a category of stats I don't necessarily agree with, but his goal involvements would be off the charts.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Off the charts.
Let me ask you this, right? Bruno Fernandes, when he came to United, the first 2 seasons, when he set the world on fire, he broke Frank Lampard's goals and assists record in a season. That was world class. That was world class, right?
Yeah.
But the 4 of us sat in the group chat last week when we decided what this podcast was going to be about, and we said, we're going to talk about players, how they are now. I don't think you can argue that Bruno Fernandes is playing at a world-class level now. He's not. He's had a terrible season. A really poor season.
I still think he's world-class now, because even though we said now, I think it takes more than just a bad season to lose that status. Because if it was based on this season, I think there'd be a lot different players in my lists. But I think it takes a lot more than just like half a season to lose that status.
Why isn't Rashford in there then? Because
I don't think Rashford's world class in the last few years.
Last year he was one of the best players in the world.
Yeah,
but that's just a season.
Yeah, but that was just a season.
And for Rashford and for his career, that's an anomaly. Whereas I would argue that this is probably, for Bruno Fernandes, an anomaly of a season in the other way.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a great season last season either. And United did well last year. They finished 3rd in the league and they won a trophy. And he did not do what he did under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer last season or this season.
Do United finish 3rd and win a trophy if he's not there?
It depends who is playing there.
Anyone else in that squad?
I don't know, but I also think that we finished 3rd last season and won a trophy because of Rashford, not because of Bruno.
Yeah.
Rashford's the one that scored all the winning goals and the clutch moments last season.
Was Bruno really that bad last season? I thought he had a good season last year.
he was okay. I mean, again, I'm talking about his world-class seasons when he set the world alight in the first 2 seasons that he was at United, and he's kind of not played as well. Look, there's an argument that Ten Hag is not using him correctly and is playing him too deep, or is asking him to play too far out to the left or too far out to the right. That's fine. I'm happy to acquiesce to that argument, but I still, I don't know.
My argument, sorry.
Go on, Alfie.
My argument was literally just going to be, I don't think he's been playing as a number 10 recently. I think under Ollie, he was a lot more up there where he is now. I think he obviously is still playing as a number 10, but the amount he has to track back now, while Casemiro's on the edge of their box, Manu's on the edge of their box, and Bruno's sprinting back to the edge of our box, I don't think he's been as attacking as he was. And I think if he still was, he would still be doing quality numbers.
Maybe. Scott, who have you picked as world-class players for United?
It was just Bruno. He's the only one I have.
So 1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for Josh. Alfie?
2. I know Bruno.
So you've gone for, okay. So we're in agreement on world-class players at United, just not necessarily in the same order. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I like that. Okay, I'm going to leave Liverpool to last because I think there's going to be maybe a second part of this podcast just based on that argument alone. However, I want to get Chelsea and Spurs out of the way.
Yeah.
Simply because I've chosen 0 players from either club.
I have 1 from each.
Oh, I have 1 from 1.
I have 1 from 1. I'm surprised you have 1 from each.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it this way. Chelsea.
Yeah.
Nate, Scott, do you have any world-class Chelsea players?
Yes, and I know this is going to get a lot of disagreement. I have Reece James, even though he is an injury merchant at the moment.
Oh, come on.
Scott.
I think that Reece James, he's had a bad injury, and he hasn't been able to get over it. He's just got surgery for, I think once he's back, I think he's one of the best right backs in the world, and I think any team takes Reece James. Well, most teams take Reece James in their starting lineup.
Scott Pele had a bad injury. He's dead, but that doesn't make him world class anymore.
No, but my argument is, like, I don't think being injured for a season loses you that status. Like, I think
it's been half a season every season.
Say Messi got injured for a season, he wouldn't lose being world class because of that reason.
Did you really? Sorry, can I just double check something? Did you really just compare Reece James to Lionel Messi?
That's what I was going to say.
I'm not comparing their ability. I'm comparing their status as world class.
Well, you put them in the same sentence, not me.
You can't compare them. It's so different. Messi could have 7 seasons of not playing football, injured, and playing 1 game a season, and he would still be world class. With Reece James, he probably averages like 18 games a season or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But you can't have Reece James world class when he can't even guarantee you 75% of each season.
I think any team in world football would, maybe not Liverpool because they have Trent, but I think any team takes Reece James as their right back.
Man City don't.
As a United
fan, they do.
If you
Man City take Reece James?
I think they take Reece James.
But over Walker?
I think they would take Reece James. I think it kind of be similar to how they had Cancelo.
Oh, that's a podcast stopper. Yeah. So look, let me try and defend Scott a little bit. I think Reece James has world class ability that he's never hit.
Yeah.
I don't think he again. Let's go back to the Saka argument, right? When have we ever had a game where you went fucking hell, Reece James? Jesus, he's lit the game up, or he's absolutely barnstormed that game. It's never happened. He's never had a game like that. He hasn't got consistency in terms of appearance. To be world class, you've got to be on the pitch.
It's a very basic. That's a very basic requirement, right? I think. Scott, can I just ask? When we were doing this, right? Did you see like the Chelsea logo and go 100% Reece James straight away, or did you have to sit there and think about it and go, is there someone in this team who is world class?
No, I genuinely.
That's a very good point.
I honestly genuinely put Reece James in without even hesitation.
I
think he's that good.
I tossed and turned in my head over Cole Palmer, and I decided against Cole Palmer for exactly that reason, because I had to think about it for a while.
Yeah, which I get, and also I think for Cole Palmer, I think he's a Saka. He's someone who can be world class and probably will be, but it's been about 3/4 of a season now. Scott, then can I ask you, ardent Liverpool fan and number one Alexander-Arnold fan, who plays ahead of who if you have to play them right back?
Oh, I think Trent goes above Reece James.
Okay.
So in that case, going on our 3 players
Top 3, yeah.
in world football, are you saying there's only one other player in world football that would get into the top 3 as a right back?
No, because I don't think you. I don't agree with that sentiment that it's top 3.
Okay, fine. I tried to bait you; it didn't work. All right, fine. Let's. Alfie, did you have anybody for Chelsea?
Nah, I have no one. And just a quick stat, right? Because who doesn't love a stat? Reece James has only ever played more than 27 games in a Premier League season once, and it was 3 years ago. This season, in all competitions, he's played 9 games. Last season, 24. That's 33 games in 2 seasons. You can't be world class. You just can't.
No, but I just want to argue with that. I'm pretty sure I've seen something about, like, I'm not trying to disrespect him. I think Nemanja Vidic had a pretty poor injury record as well, like that, and he barely played a similar amount of games per season.
He missed 1 season at United, almost a full season. The rest of the time, he played 30 odd games a season.
No, I think I've seen it before. In the seasons he's played, I think he has like a 29 game average appearances.
Alfie, have a look at that.
That might be completely wrong, but
while having a look, I
think that was Stam. You and I had this argument. I think it was Yap Stam.
Did we?
That might be right. Scott, did you mean to put Lauren James?
No.
Because I won't argue that.
I got it mixed up. I meant to put Daniel James.
Hey, what a guy!
Mate, he scored from the halfway line at the weekend. You can't deny the talent there. That's world class. And he can run the 100 meters in 4 seconds. Okay.
Wait, sorry. Just before we move on, I've got about Vidic. It says here he only missed 32 games due to injury.
Oh, there you go. I think it might have been Stam. Okay, Spurs. Again, I've gone 0 Spurs players.
I have 1.
I've got 1, and I think
I've got 1.
You've both gone for Son, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be all the same, surely. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Why not? Why?
Son has not been the same player since Kane left. And again, let's talk about taking games by the scruff of the neck. Son has had some fairly world class moments. I will grant you that. But I do not think that Son is a world class player now.
I disagree.
I think he is.
I honestly think Son is one of the best finishers in the Premier League. I mean, just look at it. If you look at his goals, just look where he places the ball, corner every single time. I think he's one of the best finishers in the league. And he's consistent every season as well.
I just think there was definitely a void to be filled when Harry Kane left, not just from his goals and not just from the way he plays the game, but Harry Kane was such a big figure and such a big captain at that club. He's not only picked up the slack on the goals front, but he's also picked up the slack as a leader within that dressing room.
Yeah.
So where does Son play? What position does he play?
Oh, I mean, the thing is, you're going to put us into this 3-player argument.
This season, he's been up top more than he has been on the left for me. I think he's been.
So he's a striker.
It's hard. Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's world class in both positions.
Yeah.
Can I play him as a 10.5?
And I think the counteract your point that he doesn't show up in big games. Like this season alone, he scored twice against Arsenal. He scored against Liverpool, and then he got a goal and an assist against Manchester City.
24 goals and assists this season in the Premier League in 28 games. 24. You can't argue with them numbers.
I can, and I'm going to.
Go on.
Wait, who said that he doesn't show up in big games?
You did. You said he doesn't have them big moments.
No, I said he. No, that's not what I said. I said
that's
no. No. I didn't say that at all. I said he has been world class in moments. That's what I said. I didn't say he hasn't had any big moments. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm not going to make that argument. I'm not that stupid. I say some fairly controversial things, but that would just be career suicide. I'm not doing that. Let's go with Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins has 2 or 3 seasons now of hitting some decent numbers. I would not say that he was world class. So you can take your 24 goal involvements in 28 games and stick it right up your backside. I don't care. I still don't think he's a world-class player anymore. He was. He's not anymore.
But
Can I just argue that?
Yeah, Son like 6 or 7 at this
Son's
stage.
done it for 8. Son's put them numbers up for 8 seasons in a row now.
I think also, I just want to
Well, that's not true. He had 36 games last season and had 16 goals and assists.
Yeah, last season.
Last season. Well, you just said he's done it 8 seasons in a row.
Yeah,
that's a good return.
16 and 36.
I would still argue that's
16
not
and
that
36
bad.
is a good return.
I would argue that's not that bad when you're not the vocal part of the team.
I'm pretty sure Rashford has 16 goals and assists this season. We're all saying that he had having the worst season of his life. How is that a good return for a forward player who is world class?
Rashford
I'm sorry, we're talking
season,
world class. We're talking world class Ronaldo. We're talking Messi. We're talking Haaland. We're talking world class footballers. If Ronaldo put up a season of 16 goals and assists in 36 games, he would be crucified.
That's Ronaldo.
No, 16 goals and assists in a season is not a good return. That's nonsense.
I understand what you're saying, and it's probably not world class numbers. However, was that his anomaly?
I don't know. Let me have a look at the stats. So he's gone 30 and 35, 27 and 37, 21 and 30, 18 and 31, 18 and 37. So no, there's a few seasons in there where he's had okay returns, but not setting the world on fire.
But in a Tottenham team.
Yeah. Tottenham, who have been challenging for the top 4 for the last 10 years. They've been in a title race 3 seasons out of 10.
Yeah.
They came second to Leicester, and Son was a very big part of that team. So, in fact, that season he got 20 and 34.
Which is a decent return.
But it's not a world-class return. Decent is not world-class, Josh.
No, I agree. Decent is not world-class. But I think my point is, and again, I always come back to this thing. If you go to Man City, if you go to Arsenal, I think even if you go to Liverpool, Scott will probably say if I'm wrong, if you go to United, if you go to any of the big 6 and you say, do you want Son? They snap your hand off.
I think Son in Man City, Arsenal or Liverpool would get crazy numbers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Liverpool would take him, though.
Yeah, I'd take Son.
Yeah. Can I make a ridiculous statement?
Oh, no. I've made one, so it's your turn.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. Son in a Liverpool team is a better player.
Oh no.
Gets better numbers than Mo Salah.
Alfie, can you note down the time that Josh
That's
said
getting
that, please?
clipped. That's getting clipped.
Like genuinely, I think he is a more complete player.
If you'd said Manny, I would have agreed with you.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought you was gonna say. I think Salah's
that's what I thought you were gonna say.
If you said Mane, I would say yeah.
Yeah, see, I think I don't know. I stand by it. I think did Mane not outscore Salah at one point in one season?
No, I think one season.
I think there was 3 of them that shared the golden boot. Mane about.
Oh, was there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look, if nothing else, all that's happened now is that I'm not the person that said the stupidest thing on the podcast, so I'm very happy for that. I am gonna move it along though, because we've got Liverpool and Man City left to do. Yeah. And I think the easiest one to do for us is going to be Man City, right? Because I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 6.
I also have 6.
Scott,
I've got 8.
Oh wow!
8.
I've got
wow. Wait. Sorry, I might have done this wrong, but I've got 9.
9.
Alfie, it's how many were or are world class, not aren't.
Yeah, I've got 9.
9 is a lot.
Okay.
I could get it down to 7, but I'm gonna back it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Should we do our 6 and then see where the extras lie, or do we do theirs and work through?
See where the extras lie.
let's do that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go first with just say yes or no, right? John Stones.
Yes.
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Yes.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, if he wasn't on your list, I would end the podcast now.
Wait. I don't have Kyle Walker.
What?
What?
I don't have
Kyle Walker.
But you have Reece James.
Yes.
How?
Oh my God, Scott!
Scott.
Wow.
I don't rate Kyle Walker that highly.
Right.
Oh,
I had the crown of the stupidest thing said on the podcast for about 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's gone.
I think Kyle Walker is very prone to a mistake, and he gets bailed out because he's very fast.
In his personal life, maybe not in the pitch. Listen, the argument for greatest all-time Premier League right-back is Gary Neville or Kyle Walker. That is it. There is no other people in that conversation, and you can say Trent until you're blue in the face. It doesn't happen.
Don't say Trent, please.
It's those two, right? And to say that he's not world-class is mind-blowing.
I can't believe that.
Also, Scott, the key thing to what you said was that he's prone to a mistake, but he bails himself out because of how quick he is. Yeah. He still bails himself out because he's that quick.
Yeah, maybe it was there, right? Maybe, I don't know, I didn't have him, and because I was so quick to say I did, maybe I should have had him.
Mbappe doesn't get very many chances, but he's so quick he can still put the ball in the net.
I never rated Kyle Walker that highly.
I can't believe it. Vinicius Jr. said a week or two back that he's the toughest defender he's ever played against.
Yeah, I think there's a few. I think Mbappe said something very similar as well.
I'll hold my hands up. That might be a howler for me. So
might be. That is definitely a howler, mate. Definitely.
Right, let's continue. Right, so Scott's backtrack now, so it's 4 for 4. Right,
I have 9.
Sorry, 3 for 3. Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rodri.
Yes.
Haaland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my 6.
You haven't gone.
Yeah.
That's my 6.
And honestly, there's no one else in that team.
Yeah. You've got the same 6.
And I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what you guys have.
Wait. Sorry. Did you guys not go for Ruben Diaz?
Nope.
Ooh. He's not world class.
No, he's
boys.
not.
To be honest, looking back, I don't know how I got 7, not 9. It is 9, but looking back, I don't know what I was doing. I've got 7.
I still want to know who they are when we get to you, mate.
Oh.
So Scott, we've got Josh and I now because they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
Let's throw in your picks, your extra 3.
Okay, so you mentioned De Bruyne, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, time is that. Well, I have Ederson.
I have Edison.
No.
But that's what I was thinking about. To be honest, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
No, I think he's very mistake prone.
Yeah. Ederson, I think Ederson, I did hesitate on putting him in, but I ended up putting him in.
The very best keeper in world football is Alisson, and if you can't get into your own national side,
I was about to say
I don't think you're world class.
And I also have Phil Foden.
So who do I have that you don't? Just Diaz, because I have Foden.
Yeah, I think the 3 I have Ederson, Foden, and Ruben Diaz.
Wait, so we've got the same then, no? Oh, you didn't have Walker.
But he does now, so that now you have the same.
So you do. You've got the same.
Yeah.
So I undernard with Foden.
Yeah, I did. And that's why he didn't go in.
Yeah, and I left him out because the only thing changing my mind was recent form. And I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't want to say a few games, but I don't think that makes him world class yet.
Look, I think there is an argument that Foden gets Player of the Season this season, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think that's too bad of a shout if he does. But do you think that's a purple patch? Like we talked about Rashford. Rashford had a purple patch last season. There was an outside chance of him getting Player of the Season, but then Haaland was a fucking robot. Do you think Foden's form this season is purple patch, or do you think he carries that consistently for years to come, making him world class?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I think off gut feeling and just based on nothing else than just watching the way he plays football, I think it's the start of his ascendancy. Right?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it depends on. There's a few factors at play, honestly, and I think it's where he's played for the rest of his career, or by Pep. We have no indication that he's anywhere close to leaving. But if Pep leaves in a season or 2, who's to say the next manager doesn't go like, oh yeah, I want you out on the left, or I don't think that's his best position.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is a lot of other factors, obviously, it plays. There is with any football player, but let's say perfect environment. This is, for me, it just looks like it's the start of a coming of age for him.
See, I don't think this is a purple patch though, because I think he's been doing this for years. Like he has back-to-back Young Player of the Year awards.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for years, but he's been doing it for years in little segments.
Yeah,
this
but
is the longest he's been doing this for.
Yeah, but I would argue it's just because he doesn't start regularly. I think if he did, I think his numbers would be crazy. I think it's just the way he
can't
plays.
be world class.
Yeah, if you're not starting regularly, then you're not world class either.
I think
it's the same argument for Edison in goal, right?
In so many teams, I think he does start. So many teams.
I think in Manchester City's biggest games, I think Phil Foden is on that team sheet.
Yeah.
Well, he was benched against Palace at the weekend, so.
Yeah, well, that's
not their biggest game.
Yes, he can afford to rest him, but when he's coming up against like a Liverpool or Arsenal, he's going to play Foden.
But is that not more because of defensive discipline as opposed to?
Maybe, but I would still say Foden's world class. I think he starts in. I'm trying to think of a team that he doesn't start in. Probably Real Madrid, obviously.
Hang on. So where is his best position then?
I think just behind the striker for me.
Could he be Kevin De Bruyne's replacement?
No.
I think that's what it's going to be. No.
I think
we discussed this
in a different way.
Yeah,
we discussed this on the podcast when we were discussing the England squad, and we all agreed that Phil Foden isn't actually all that creative as a player, which is why we wouldn't play him as a number 10 for England.
Yeah, he wouldn't go.
Are we backtracking on that now and saying that maybe he should be playing as a number 10 for City?
No.
I think he's perfectly fine on the left.
See, I think the reason Phil Foden is not world class is because someone who is world class in that team plays in the position that he should be playing in, and that's Bernardo Silva for me.
And the roaming role.
Yeah.
That's not a bad shout because we've all got Bernardo Silva as world class.
Yeah.
But look, he's 24 next month. There's plenty of time for Phil Foden to be a world class footballer. I just don't think he is right now. It's the Bukayo Saka argument all over again. He's young. He has all the potential in the world. He's performing at a decent level now. He's not world class. He's not hitting Lewandowski numbers, Ronaldo numbers, Messi numbers, Suarez numbers. He's not performing at a level that I would say was world class.
So we can all say that he's going to be, and two of us think he is.
I think he is.
I can't see a world that he doesn't turn out to be world class if you don't think he is now.
I think it's a very dangerous game trying to predict the careers.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. It's life. Anything can happen. But he's different. I think he's so good.
Yeah.
Okay. So now comes the difficult one, because, and those of you watching at home, if you have headphones in, just pop the volume down a little bit. I think this is going to be an all-out war because I've only got 3 Liverpool players.
I've only got 3 Liverpool players as well.
I've got
You've
4.
Got 4.
I've got 4.
I feel like
this
I
is
know
not.
Who you've left out.
Yeah, I think so.
I think I know who you've included.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Okay. This is going to be fun, right? Scott, you are our Liverpool fan. Why don't you give us your 4?
Yeah. Do that. Yeah.
And we'll tell you which ones we've left out.
Okay, so I'll start off. I've got Alisson.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got Alisson.
I've got Salah.
I've got Salah.
Yeah.
I've got Van Dijk.
I've got Van Dijk.
And I have Trent.
No, absolutely
not.
Not
happening. No.
I think that's blasphemous.
No. It's just
that's crazy.
He's not. No,
sorry,
Scott, when you picked a defender who can't defend.
Scott, when you are...
I don't think that's true.
No, but Scott, when you are so bad in your position that somebody tries to tell you you play in a different position, you cannot be world class. Like he's a right back who people are like he can't defend, so he's a midfielder, and now we're trying to shoehorn him into that. We had a whole podcast about the England Euro squad, and you advocated for him playing on the right hand side of midfield.
Yeah, because I think
he's a right back.
England setup, I think he'd be better there.
Sorry, would you like to tell me that he's a world-class midfielder? Because we're all under the assumption you're saying he's a world-class right back.
I think he is, yeah. I don't think there's a bigger game winner at right back than Trent Alexander-Arnold. He can win
That's
games
not his
from right
job.
back. He can
That's
win
not
games
his
from
job.
right back.
He can lose
not
them
his
from right back as
job.
well, though.
He can
He
win
can
games
lose
from right
them.
back. I don't know, because people say this, he can't defend, but it's the same things happen with Bradley now. It's the way we play. Is that whole right side is basically forgotten about. Push Trent up, right side is forgotten about. The right centre back covers that area, and you see the same problems with Bradley now. Just that space just gets vacated. It has nothing to do with defence. It's just about that space just gets left.
I reckon
Bradley
you could.
playing has shown that.
I reckon you could pull up some clips of Trent being put on his arse by a few wingers who we've not included in our world class list.
Does anybody know how many games Trent has played this season at right back in the Premier League?
No, I don't know.
Every game he's played, he's played a right back.
I don't think he has played as a
right back
because he's been injured a lot this season, right?
I don't
so
think
he hasn't played much.
This season. He's played 21 Premier League games this season, 2 in the FA Cup, 2 in the Carabao Cup, 4 in the Europa League.
Okay, so he is 5th in the list of people who have made errors that lead to a direct goal. That's this season. He's world class. Just players who can win games from fullback, I think, are world class, and I think Trent is one of them.
The thing is with Trent, everything defensively, his stats are awful.
I don't even think they are.
Look, he's been dribbled past 47 times.
Oh, that's a stat.
47 times. Look, I don't know how it works, but on FootMob, that's the lowest 1% of right backs. That's the worst you can get. It's the worst you can possibly get. Duels won, he's at 8% with 45.9% of every duel. He's won. So he loses more than he wins. I don't know.
Yeah, so Scott, you are the stato of the attacking football crew, and I think you'll find it difficult to argue with those.
No, I think
47. I can't believe that.
So Scott, can I just ask a serious question? You know, I know we're all outraged that you've included him, but when you're saying he can win a game from right back, is that relying on the fact that you get a free kick or a corner?
No.
How does he win a game from right back?
That's what I was going to say. How's he doing it?
His passing, his striking ability. There's been many games this season where he's won points for us because of that.
Robertson's got more goals than assists than Trent. So why are you not including Robertson?
Because Robertson has this very annoying need to headless chicken
defend.
Yeah, just run around. Just run around. Wait, I've got a question. Ooh, I've got a question to add a bit of spice to it. That was bad.
Has your voice finally broken?
I think
that was bad.
You need the context of that Trent plays much further up the pitch than most right backs do, and in those situations, it's a lot easier for forwards to knock the ball past him into space. And in his defence, Trent is not the quickest fullback in the world.
I do get that, but yeah, my question was: so if we were doing the top 3 players in their position, LA and Josh, who would your 3 right backs be that are better than Trent?
That's a very good question. Kyle Walker is number 1 on the list. I think he's the best right back in the world.
And Scott, I still can't get over that, by the way.
What?
Walker, not world class. I
took it back. I think Walker is class.
I've taken my Trent one back. I've took him out.
I'm still reeling from Scott trying to make an argument that Trent is the best right back in world football, but he never plays in his position and often gets dribbled past because he's not that quick.
No, but I think the context is that he plays like Kyle Walker does not get as forward as Trent does, and Walker is in the lowest 25% of fullbacks you get dribbled past, so he's not that great either in that situation.
Trent's in the lowest 1% though. There's a bit of a difference.
Yeah, but I still think Walker's getting dribbled past quite a lot as well, but
yeah,
he has less space to cover than Trent does.
Alfie, going back to your question, a bit of a rogue shout, but I'm not calling this player world class, but I'm saying I would consider them. I would
please say it.
Maybe put them ahead of
please
Trent right back. Ben White.
Oh, I wasn't thinking that.
No, I wasn't thinking that either.
I was not thinking that.
Well, who do you think I was going to say?
I just thought you was going to say Dalot, to be honest.
No.
I'm not saying he's world class, and I wouldn't say he's better than Trent. I'm just saying
good season. No, I don't. Again, I don't think you can argue what Ben White's done in that Arsenal team.
He's had a good season.
Great season. They're very different players. I get that, but he does the defensive work, but also contributes going forward.
And Alfie, you asked if we're going top 3 in world football.
Yeah.
Who I'm going to give you 4 who I think are better than Trent, and it starts with Kyle Walker. It moves on to Hakimi. His England teammate Kieran Trippier, who starts ahead of him for his national side. Yeah, I'd take Trippier, and then I'd say at the moment Frimpong at Leverkusen.
Oh yeah, okay.
Who is a better attacking player than Trent?
Yeah, because I was going to say,
and better defensively as well. So, I
think Trent is so good at attacking, and I think he's a game winner from fullback. I don't think there are many other fullbacks who can do what he does in that position.
So do you think
he's the best on the wing then? Don't put him in defence. He's a defender who can't defend.
I don't think
his defending stats are awful.
I don't think that's true.
Well, you don't think his defensive stats are awful?
He just read them to you.
I've just told you he's been dribbled past 47 times. That's embarrassingly bad.
Yeah, but I think
he's top 5 in the league for errors leading to goals.
Scott, I understood your point about he's always up there. He's not fast, so he can't get back. But come on, you can't be getting ran past 47 times in a season where you've only played 29 games. You're getting dribbled past about 2 times a game.
Hang on. I'm gonna agree with Scott in one aspect, right? I think Trent's passing ability is world class. I don't think England have a better passer of the ball since David Beckham. He is absolutely sensational on the ball. Yeah. He is a wonderful footballer to watch. However, I do want my defenders to defend, and if you want to play Trent and maximize his abilities, he has to play further up the field, in which case he is not a world-class right back. He is a decent midfielder or an okay winger. I don't think he is. It just doesn't work for me. Scott, can I ask a question? How come you've got 5 Arsenal players in your world-class list, but only 3 Liverpool players?
No, I have 2 Arsenal players.
No, that was Dylan. Dylan has 5.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about Dylan.
Dylan has 5.
Oh, we do need to talk about Dylan.
5 Arsenal players.
So, guys, you remember Dylan from last week's podcast and the week before. Dylan's not here today, and he should have been because he missed his train home. A couple too many Aperol spritzes. But Alfie, do you want to read out Dylan's picks? Because I think the public need to hear these.
For every team, or shall I just read his Arsenal ones?
Just go through all of them.
Okay, let me get it up. So, for Chelsea, he has none.
Yeah.
For Tottenham, he has none. I'm going to end with Arsenal because I think, But United, he has Bruno and Diogo Dalot.
Okay.
City.
Diogo Dalot.
Dalot, yeah. Wow, I've just seen a shout in here and City. Mental. City, he has De Bruyne, Haaland, Foden, Rodri, Kyle Walker, and Bernardo Silva, right? But he has one more, and that's Nathan Ake.
No, right. Dylan, what are you doing?
So if we're talking top 3 in their positions, is he including Ake as a left back or a centre back, do you think?
Well, the funny thing is, I was about to say when we were having this chat about Trent, none of us have included any left backs, right? Which I think is interesting. Now,
that's true.
I'm going to say it. Had Luke Shaw not have been injured, he would have been in there for me.
I think he would have been in for me as well.
For top 3, I think left backs are in a bit of a bad state at the moment.
Yeah, well, Alphonso Davies is definitely up there, right?
Yeah.
There's none in the Premier League. There are no decent left backs in the Premier League.
Grimaldo, is he at Leverkusen as well?
Yeah, Grimaldo's having a quality season.
He is with Frimpong.
Yeah.
I don't know how far down that list you need to go, but Ake is a bit.
He's on page 2.
At what point do we need to have a podcast where there's just an intervention for Dylan? Because clearly there was too many Aperol spritzes making the list, too many getting his train home.
I can't believe Nathan.
Is
that the worst shout? That has to be the worst shout of the night. I think that's worse than the Kyle Walker not being world class. That Nathan Ake is world class. But
Dylan, there's a trophy coming your way.
So he's got Liverpool, Alisson, Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent. And he's got 5 Arsenal players: Declan Rice, Saliba, Saka, Gabriel, and Martin Odegaard.
See, there's arguments to be made for every one of those.
I don't hate the Arsenal shouts.
Yeah,
No.
the Arsenal ones aren't crazy. It's just because there's 5, it looks crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, does it? They're top of the league and they came second last season.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
And
that's
they've
the
got
thing,
it's a squad of 23 players, and let's face it, the only team with more than 6 is City.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one.
Look, it is. Yeah, it is tough, and I think and again, I think it comes down to what your distinction of world class is, and that's part of the reason we did this podcast as well is it's a phrase that gets just thrown around these days.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're world class.
Yeah.
They're world class. But when you actually dig down to what that means, Nathan Ake, isn't it?
He's not even close.
No.
I don't think he's even close.
No. I think we might have to suspend Dylan for next week's podcast. He's had 2 yellows, and he's going to have to miss a game through suspension, unfortunately, which does bring me on quite neatly to next week's podcast. So next week, ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking very similarly about world-class players that exist outside of the top 6 in the Premier League. So part 2 of this podcast is coming next week. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. This was really, really fun. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on our socials. You'll see them here, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you, boys.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.